Hi everyone, Avery here. I'm a spiritual intuitive and I'm tuning in today to share some messages that I have gotten in my own connection with my higher guidance or my guides, whatever you want to call them. I kind of just feel the energy. Sometimes they go by a name, sometimes I don't. But most importantly, I will ask questions. I like to do automatic writing for myself. It gets me out of the way and I will just channel answers back. But I intend for higher guidance. And so one of the things I have been working with is, energetically manifesting and how I know that something's different. And in one of my other videos, I talked about a lot of resistance to actions and, or resistance to what you're creating. But, when you're stepping into a new version of yourself, so my understanding of manifesting and what my guides are showing me more and more is that it's not just about putting a thing in your mind, it is about becoming a new version of you who lives that. We are stepping into almost a parallel version of yourself, and that is the most exciting leading edge thing to do. It isn't merely about creating a thing or an amount of money or a person. It is about becoming a new you. And the most efficient and the most magical way of manifesting is becoming that new you. Now, putting your mind on a thing might help you to get there, so that's not inherently bad. But becoming that new you. And one of the things about stepping into a new version of you, your actions, your day-to-day actions should shift a little bit, because a new you does not behave exactly the same. Now, this is not about forcing manifestation or creation through action alone. It is about understanding that it is natural, that if a different version of you shows up, they will behave differently in their environment. They have a different set of programs, beliefs, behaviors, and lifestyle. This may be gradual. Unless you've done a lot of inner work in a short amount of time, suddenly they may be pretty dramatic. So for example, right, this is not about saying, all right, I want to be a healthy version of me. I am going to run every day. You can do that, right? You can naturally do that. You can you force yourself, you get up even though you're really not that person. Okay, and you can still get there, you'll be healthier, all of the things. This is about failing into a version of you who already is healthy, who may wake up and just say, you know what, I'm gonna start doing yoga. It's like an inspiration. They don't think that that's the right thing, it just comes to them, right? Or they suddenly start running. This actually happened to me recently. I was tuning into greater health because I'd had some small health issues, some inflammation, and I wasn't thinking about running, honestly. And I really hadn't done as much yoga as I used to do years ago, which was my entry point and to spirituality. And I would meditate and I'd feel into the emotions, feel into the version of me, try to feel even into the body. That feels great. And that feels so healthy. And I felt a lot of love in that. And I noticed I started to just function better and all of these things started to shift. And then one day in my meditation, I just kept seeing myself running. It wasn't what I was trying to see, it just came in. And then the next day I was like, I'm just gonna go for a run. I don't know why, but I'm doing it. And then I'm like, well, let me keep going. Let me keep doing that. Now, I'm not training for a marathon by any means, but I have never been a runner. And so it was fascinating that there's this different version of me who apparently is, or is a minimal runner, I should say. And then all of a sudden I started being like, you know what, I really got to get back into yoga. I'm just going to do it. Someone brought it into my life. And, yes, these actions are bringing about a physical change of greater health, but they are a byproduct of the version of me that already exists. They're almost like they are merging me together with this energetic understanding. Now, there's also a possibility, right, that I could be so good at stepping into this new energy that I would be very athletic in a short amount of time, that I could quantum leap, right? We don't always do that because it's fun to unfold. It's fun to unfold. It's not as shocking to the body. There will still be some catching up for the physicality to do, but there can be massive leaps. And so my guides were just explaining this, like, really, if you feel like you're tuning in and you're creating something new, you're trying to manifest, you're trying to evolve spiritually, And nothing in your waking world when you're not meditating or journaling or whatever your spiritual practice is looks different. You may be either tuning in only in your meditation and then going back into autopilot and not opening to the new version of yourself, or you may not be getting there. And that's okay, because wherever you are may be fine. It's okay. There's no judgment. It's just, if you want to, you will tell by a change in your subtle and not so subtle behaviors. And it's really fun to be someone different. And it's not different, right? These are versions of you. We have all of these versions of us out there. So what's actually happening is we're just a little bit more of a slightly different version of this expanded version of us. It's like we really could be anyone, but I do think our desires created by this life are going to keep it into a sort of a range that makes sense for our soul's intentions in this life. But often we've really limited that range based on our personal experiences, programs, culture, belief, family, all of the things. And we want to create new things because we want to expand into that version. Manifestation is a means of expanding the vessel that is you, and a fun experience of creating that is a unique experience of this human life. Not that creating and manifesting is only unique to human life, but specifically the way that we do it, kind of as these separate things, like, I've got this job or this partner and they seem to be over there, but really you have evolved and changed. You're emanating new energy and you're calling that to you. And it's so magical. And especially if you're using it to be more love, more joy, more expansion, more light, more spirit, more soul, not just to get something. And I think many of us have been feeling that manifestation doesn't work the same as it used to, or it's not as easy, at least for some of us who've been on this journey for a while. I definitely felt that. Like, I used to set my mind and things would just come, and then there was this like lag time or difficulty and difficult emotions surfacing in the last several years. And it was this deep call to say, you can focus your mind on something and you can have it, but what you want is to create a different reality from within you and around you. And that's what my guides are really helping me to understand, and something I'm going to involve in more videos and sharing more. But we want to lead the new reality forward, right? And we're the evolutionary standpoint by what we call in. And now you might call in a relationship, like, how is that a new reality? Like, but you might call in a new way of functioning in that, a more loving, more free, more whole, less limiting, less bound experience. Or maybe you call in money, and everybody's calling in money, but maybe you feel so much liberation and ease and fun and joy, and it feels like something, at least for your life cycle, you've broken. But even more, what would you want in the future for humanity? What could be different, and how can you start to embody, at least on a pattern level, that, right? That is what I'm feeling, is this new edge. Like, I would love for, money and resources not to feel that it was sort of just this trade and there was always a loss somewhere, right? Like products, like it always comes at a cost to nature or to somebody. What if it didn't? Now, I can't immediately change everything in the cycle and, where paper products come from when I need them, right? But I can start to tune into an energy that would make at least my interactions closer to that. I could start pushing the edge. I could start tuning into this divine new version, letting it channel through me, and at least contributing to the whole in that way. And who knows? Could come up with an idea that contributes to that, or it could just be my energetic embodiment. I'm more likely to choose things in my life that are going to match that frequency, because that's my new reality, right? So same for you. If there is a way that you would love the world to be, start becoming it. Start becoming that in yourself, right? And it won't be necessarily so obvious. Think of what pattern, what energy is behind whatever you hope to see, and to try to embody that, right? So if you want to see a world where there is no hunger, you may not go out and feed every single person, but what does that mean to you? Could it mean that you feel safer, that you think resources are balanced well, that you feel that everyone is thriving. So in that, it's your job to thrive. It's your job to balance your own resources well, to make sure that you don't create lack in any area of your life, that you are generous, right? Because generosity would be included in that reality, that you are not in lack or fear so much that you feel the need to hoard, whatever that is, right? Have fun with it though. Don't take it as a burdensome task. Feel light and joyful. Be manifesting for humanity, but through your individual life first, because you have to master that. That's one of the things, my guys, like, you have to master this for yourself. You have to be the living embodiment of it before you can contribute it to the whole, before it's going to expand into some greater vision. And you're not here to save the earth. You're here to create one because you like to create. You're here to create a new reality through you. And you're here to do the same. So if you're finding this message, please like, subscribe, comment things you'd love for me to talk to my guides about. Check out my website, get a reading if you want to know deeper about your own patterns, what's coming in, what your guidance is, or check out mentorships, because maybe you're ready to dive deep and you want to feel someone supporting you and holding you in that environment. So thank you for listening, and can't wait to share more.